Are you losing yourself at the IEP table? Welcome to the Special Education Inner Circle podcast. I'm your host, Catherine Witcher, and I want to chat with you about what's been happening at your IEP table and how you feel about yourself before or during or after this IEP process. I was just in a coaching session with master IEP coaches who are starting or growing their own business, helping parents through the IEP process. That's what I've done for 27 plus years, is help parents and teachers, admins and therapists through the IEP process. And I love to teach you to be able to do the same thing. I want you to be able to do that. If that's something that you want to do, is start that business, I want you to go ahead and follow the link wherever you're watching this so you can find out how you can make that happen. But as I was talking with master IEP coaches and coaching them through and talking about, just their interactions with their clients, their interactions at IEP meetings, it's important for us to really think about who we are and how we want to show up at the IEP table. So if I asked you to list 3 words to describe who you want to be at the IEP table, could you list those out? And then after you list those out, I want you to think about, have you been those 3 words? Have you been creative or collaborative or caring, or have you been who you want to be at the IEP table? And if not, do you have a reason why? Well, I would be collaborative, but nobody brings the data. Well, I would be kind, but when I'm nice, I never get what, needs to get done. Well, I would be, but do you find yourself saying that? I have found that a lot. I have found that a lot when parents would call me up. I don't work one-on-one with families anymore. I spend all my time inside of master IEP coach programs helping you through master IEP coach programs. But all the time I would have families call me up and they would say, listen, I really want to be nice, but I can't. It's almost like the nice guy never wins. Or I'd be working with an admin or teachers, and I would be doing professional development. And they're like, well, we wish we could do this, but then. And you can't show up as the teacher that you want to be, as the parent that you want to be, as the admin or the therapist, because something's getting in your way. There's a reason. But I want to challenge you to take back who you want to be at the IEP table. And there's a couple of ways to do that. The first thing is you might need a support person to help you get there. So parents, you'll hear this all the time. Don't go to an IEP meeting by yourself. You might need somebody. This doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you pay to go with you to speak for you. In other words, like a traditional advocate. It doesn't necessarily need to be that. It absolutely could be your friend. It could be your mom. It could be somebody else that is just there to help you stay true to who you are and get done what needs to get done. Okay? And you're going to have this conversation ahead of time. This is what we need. Maybe if you're a staff person, you need to have that IEP bestie who can give you that look across the table. Like, don't go there. Come on. You know that's not going to feel good later. Right? Like if you say that, if you do that, like, come on. Okay, so you might need that person who can be your support person. You might want to talk to a master IEP coach. Again, those are parents, teachers, admins, and therapists that I've trained to support you through the IEP process. You might need that. The other thing that you might need is to set up more of a system on how you prepare for your IEP meeting. So for example, maybe you feel like you get blindsided all the time. Well, I would be kind, collaborative, caring. I would communicate more clearly. I would do those things, but I feel like I have all this information just coming at me, like I'm always blindsided. Well, from a parent perspective, you need to ask for a draft copy of the IEP. Ask for a draft. Many states mandate that a draft is given. Doesn't mean it always happens, okay? But many states mandate that. And some don't. But you absolutely can say, in order to be an equal member of the IEP team and participate in this discussion, I'm requesting a draft. And that's not predetermination. And we can have a whole another conversation another day on why you can get a draft and what you need to ask for and what should be included and what should not be included in a draft IEP. Like that, but it's possible. So if you feel like you're getting blindsided, that might be a system that you need to set up. You might need to set up a system for yourself of, I'm going to, every time I hear something that triggers this negative feeling, I'm going to write it down myself in my own journal. All right, like right there at the table. Like, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to think on it for a few minutes. And then if I feel like I need to come back to it before the end of the meeting, then I can address this. Or you might need to have some sayings. Sayings are something that I would give to my clients all the time. Things to say when you got stuck and you knew you were going to go in a direction that you didn't necessarily want to go. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of sayings. One is, can you write that down? You know, there's a discussion going on, and maybe it is the parents requesting something and the team needs to say, let's write that down. Let's write down your request and let's figure out what we need to do to address that. Let's write that down and document it. When you document things, it really does diffuse a lot of the situations that are happening. From a parent standpoint, you can say the same thing. You can have an admin or a therapist or a teacher saying things like, you know, this is how it is, or we can't do that here, or giving you pushback on something. And instead of arguing at the table, you can say, can you write that down? Please write that down in the IEP. Please write that down in our notes. Please write that down. And get it documented what is being said, because you might need to address that later. But you might not have the right words or support or be in the right mindset to address that right now. Just because you're going to address it later doesn't make it any less important. The other thing is, can you show me the policy? So can you show me the policy? This is from a parent perspective. You know, we don't provide one-on-one aids here. Can you write that down, or can you show me the policy? Our policy is parents can't observe the classroom. Show me the policy. Okay? There's ways to those things. Yes, you can go see your child in class. Okay. And teachers know I'm not encouraging parents to have like a free pass to come into your classroom and anytime they want to and stay as long as they want to. There's a respect in there, right? But there are sayings. So do you need support person to be there with you? Do you need a system to set up maybe the prep work or what you're going to do after the meeting? You need a system set up for you so you can show up as who you want to be at that IEP meeting and not lose yourself and turn into somebody that you don't like? Or do you need some sayings? Do you need some kind of like one-liners? Like, okay, when I feel this way, I'm going to say this. Or when I hear this, I'm going to do that. So I want to encourage you that if you feel like you are not able to show up to an IEP meeting as who you are, as who you want to be, or you're not able to follow through on that because the situations feel difficult and you get stuck with those words and you're not sure exactly what to ask for, you're not sure exactly what, to do in these, contentious situations, or that it just doesn't feel good. You should feel in alignment with who you are when you're showing up to that IEP meeting. I have so many people, again, parents and teachers that will come up to me and say, I just don't like how the meetings are going. Like, I don't feel good. I feel like I have to, and they'll say something negative. I feel like I have to be so direct in a way where it almost feels mean. I feel like I have to be, so whatever, fill in that blank. I don't feel like I can be kind or giving or collaborative but there are ways to fix this. So at your IEP table, you can show up as who you are. You can absolutely be there with integrity throughout the entire meeting. You can have that support, that system, and those sayings to help you get through. And I promise you, when you absolutely like stay true to who you are and you know that you're showing up as your best self, no matter what happens at that meeting, you know that you can handle the next step. Whether everything went great and now it's time for implementation, or if things have some open-ended discussions and decisions that need to happen and you're going to have to continue to go through this, to the next meeting. You're going to do this in a whole different way when you can show up as you with that integrity and stay true to who you are. Okay, I want to encourage you again, go to masteriepcoach.com, go grab some free resources, consider joining the Master IEP Coach Mentorship, where you can get all the tools that I've put together for the last 27 years, and you can use them for yourself at the IEP table, or you can even decide to start a business and help parents through the IEP process. All of that's at masteriepcoach.com. I'll see you guys next time.